Hello and welcome everybody to the Twins Off Daily podcast brought to you by twinsdaily.com. How the heck are you, Twins territory? We are recording this on May 11th. That is Mother's Day, and you know what? Every Mother's Day needs a Mother's Night. And right now, all the mothers want to hear what we think about the red hot Minnesota Twins. I am here with the OG crew. We got up in the upper left corner, we have Mr. Gregory Masterson. What's going on, dude?
I would like to say to all the mothers, sup. Gregory says hello. If you are a mother, hello. If you have a mother, tell her old Gregg says hello. Hey, fellas. I don't know if it's hearable, audible in my voice right now, but I got punched in the throat about a week ago playing basketball, and this is probably going to be more talking than I've done in the week since. So I apologize ahead of time if at some point my voice just stops working because I haven't been using it, and I got punched in the face for playing basketball, man. I'm a trooper, but I don't know. This is uncharted territory for old Gregg.
I at the risk of shooting your voice in the very first, couple minutes of the episode, tell us about this person that punched you. What happened in this game? Were you playing Draymond in this game of pickup basketball or men's league? Whatever you're playing? Tell us about it.
Listen, I run my mouth a lot. I deserved it. Just like I started this show, I started the game by talking about the guy's mother, and then, well, no. As much as I would love to say, because hear me out. Like, playing basketball, I have been threatened to be stabbed. I probably around a dozen times. Like, it is not above me to upset people while playing basketball. This wasn't me getting what's coming to me. We were going for a rebound, and he came down and just caught me like right in the chin. It flew back and hit me in the throat. I think I have a bruised windpipe right now, but nothing nefarious, just a little recklessness.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of people who at one time or another have threatened to stab Gregg, we have Mr. Cody Schoenman in the bottom left. What's going on, Cody?
You're telling me that for the first time. I didn't know that I ever did that.
Oh, you did.
But,
you did.
Hi. Yeah, this episode goes out to all the baby mamas. Gregg, I have a question for you. Do you think Papa Leo the 14th, do you think he's aware of the Giolito versus Donaldson beef from 2021? Do you think he's cognizant of that?
I'm sure. I don't know. I feel like if you were a White Sox fan, you have to be, don't you? Like,
was he a White Sox fan 2021? Do we know?
Yes. I mean, if you're a lifelong White Sox fan, you are a lifelong White Sox fan, and if you went to the World Series as no matter what part of your life you're in, like, that's something that you only do if you really care about your team. So I think that he knows a lot about the Chicago White Sox.
Because I picture like him listening to Josh Donaldson condescendingly being like, Mr. Giolito, you have sticky stuff on your fingers. It's just like, I don't know why, but I think of that and it kind of disturbs me a little bit.
Okay.
Great. All right. Awesome. We also
Thanks,
have...
Cody.
Yeah, in the upper right of our screen here for our video audience, we have friend of the show, Theo Tollefson, joining us. What's going on, Theo?
Not much. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while, and you guys are as rambunctious as ever.
Yeah, and you know what? Theo's been one of the busiest guys in the business here. Since moving to the capital city of St. Paul, Minnesota, Theo has been to both ballparks, left and right, just ping-ponging between these two stadiums. Where were you today, Theo? Give us the scoop.
CHS Field today, a low-scoring affair. A big guy who dings dawns hit a home run, as we all know, Carson McCusker and Mickey Gasper, and that's really all the Saints needed except an extra insurance run. So it's kind of weird seeing a low-scoring game at AAA, and yeah, Saints won 5 out of 6 this series, so they're on a good roll.
It's got to just feel weird that the Saints played consecutive games without being rained out. I mean, they've got, 7 rainouts already on the year, something like that?
11 out of their first 39 days.
Sure, and a couple of those were like doubleheader days.
Doubleheaders,
right?
11 games. So I think they've already had 2 knocked off the schedule because it's like, screw it, what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked Toby about that post game, and he had to chuckle. He's like, "Yeah, it's nice to actually have a routine set in place for everyone." So
Yeah, makes sense. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we jump on into our walk-off question that we will try to answer at the end of today's episode? And that question is, which fictional, we'll say TV or movie mother would you want on your baseball club? There's a lot of different options. Somebody who could step in for an at-bat and hit a mighty wallop or throw a mean yacker from the mound. Think about your favorite fictional mothers that might be a good addition to the ball club here. But we'll try to answer that at the end of the episode. But let's boogie on down now to the rapid recap. Red hot Minnesota Twins. Boy, it was a pretty good week, right, guys? I mean, just yeah, it was okay. It was fine. Let me just see. I'm looking through the game log here. I'm not seeing a single loss since our last episode. I think this is the first clean sweep for the Twins Off Daily podcast. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of our impressions of this club. That it's crazy how much can change in a week. So let's talk about it. Who's hot? Who's not? Let's start with you, Gregg.
The starting pitchers are hot, not just right now, but actually like over the last, I don't know what, month and a half, basically since the first time through the rotation. Sorry for our audio only group. Lou just turned off his camera and we had two Greggs in the house.
Nightmare fuel.
Which Theo is familiar. This has happened before on Destination the Show, which is a show I'm not even on.
Yeah, at least twice. I think
Yeah,
I think in our recording system, the default avatar whenever anyone wants to stop the camera, as I will show example now, Gregg. So it is frustrating, except Cody.
It doesn't work for Cody.
There's too much beef between those two. He's not honored to be Gregg. But yeah, that's happened a couple times, and Jamie and Jeremy, well, Jamie more so than Jeremy earlier on was having a fit about it, but you two have come together. So lovely.
Anyway, what I was saying though, before I was rudely interrupted, so I looked this up and I don't have the newest numbers for Pablo Lopez after his start, but going into today, after the Twins' first trip through the rotation, there are 6 starting pitchers, if you include David Festa. The ERAs for those 6 guys: Simeon Woods Richardson, 394, Chris Paddock, 279, Joe Ryan. Oh no. I guess since we mentioned Chris Paddock, we should probably check everybody's favorite game. Is Chris Paddock still a Twin? And as of May 11th, Chris Paddock is still a Twin, not just still a Twin, but he had a perfect game going in the 6th inning this week. Just great look for him. But Chris Paddock 297, Joe Ryan 285, Bailey Ober 198, Pablo Lopez going into today 193. It's obviously going to go up because he went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, and then David Festa in his 3 starts has a 1.38 ERA. Those 6 guys, this starting rotation has been absolute nails, especially after that first kind of rough cycle through the rotation. I mean, over the last week, they've only given up a handful of runs. It's been really, really encouraging to watch this starting rotation do its job. You're getting innings from guys. Paddock, like we said, but guys are going 5-6 innings pretty consistently. We don't have a bunch of 4-inning starts, which is super nice. Really helps the bullpen. I've been really, really impressed by the starting rotation.
Yeah, I think that's well said. And you know what? They were impressive even before the team itself kind of got back on the rails here. They were performing night in and night out for a long time there. Cody, how about you? Who's hot? Who's not? What's caught your eye?
The offense is also hot too. Should be noted. More specifically, Byron Buxton is, looking like the ideal version of Byron Buxton that we've always wished and hoped and prayed for, which is nice to see. He has platinum glove level defense in center field, potentially, and he's been incredible at the plate. He's hitting for power. I know it was nice on that first Giants game, hitting that leadoff triple to right field and he scored, kind of set the tone for that game in the series. So that was really nice to see. Also, a very good defensive outfielder, Harrison Bader, has been really good at the plate too. He's hitting missiles across the field. He's displaying Iron Dome level defense out in the outfield. So he's been incredible. I'm really, really proud of what I've seen of him. And Trevor Larnach, too, the last couple of games has been very good as well. So, like, the whole entire Twins outfield has been impressive. I also say Brooks Lee. I know I touched on him in the last episode, and that could have been a little bit too early because his OPS has been hovering around 700. And, like, it's been nice to see him perform well and kind of get into his stride, but still, like, he's not where you want him to be, I'd say. He's still, like, a little bit struggling, but, he hit a home run in this Giants series. He's been doing well. So, continual progression of Brooks Lee has been, really nice to see. Ryan Jeffers is, hitting well behind the plate. So there's a lot to be excited about with the Twins offense, with the outfielders, infielders, everybody across the diamonds hitting right now. So that's a lot of fun to watch.
It's just so refreshing to have a whole week where it feels like their situational hitting, or you just, with guys on, has been night and day different from how it was when they were struggling. And you know what? It's probably going to come in waves. That's kind of the nature of it. But it's nice to be on this side of it for now. Theo, anybody that Cody or Gregg did not bring up who's caught your eye in the last week or so here?
I think we should just round it out with the guys who are hot in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Let's point out that over the last 2 weeks, Joan Duran has been scoreless in 8 outings, only giving up 3 walks and 5 hits. It looked a little scary there these last 2 days. But, last night he got that double play hit up right the middle to him. And then today, I should correct myself, strike out to really get out of the jam and alleviate any further damage. And then also, Coulomb has been phenomenal all season, and we're really starting to see him shine in this last series against the Giants, as well as Cole Sands. He's finally coming back to himself after a little bit of a rough few outings there. So there are a lot of guys in that bullpen who are all clicking together, and this was projected by Fangraphs to be the best bullpen in baseball, right. And we are seeing more snippets of that consistently than we had probably through the first 3 or 4 weeks of this season. So it's good to see all those guys I just mentioned coming together, and a few others. Justin Topa has been pretty consistent all season. You want to take what you get from him, especially considering how hurt he was with so many different injuries last season, to only get a couple at the end of the year. And now this season, you look at him, he's been consistent. Sure, he's given up a few hits and home runs here and there, but you'll take what you can get from him for a guy who's probably your 5th or 6th best reliever in the bullpen.
No doubt. I think you take that every day. I feel like it's been a few weeks since we've seen any sort of change to the bullpen too. We're used to seeing guys, the last few years, guys in the, softer side of that bullpen getting kind of shuffled between AAA and the big league roster. Haven't seen too much of that lately, even with Alcala's, I guess you could say kind of up and down season that he's had and some of the struggles that he's had. They've still just kept him in the fold. And so far it's like you said, it's been looking pretty good. I'm curious to see what they look like when Brock the Glock Stewart is kind of back to his full strength. I think he's still kind of shaking off some of that rust, understandably, based on his recovery timeline and missing spring training, stuff like that. So, it'll be interesting to see once they're at full strength. I think in today's game 3 against the Giants, when Jax gave up that run, that was the first run the bullpen had given up since last Sunday or something, wasn't it?
Saturday.
Last Saturday?
This is the first run since last Saturday. I was going to do a pop quiz. How many runs has the Twins bullpen given up since last Saturday? And it was just the one today.
Just the one. That's pretty crazy. And that's an excellent development and probably a major reason why they have locked in 8 consecutive wins. So we will.
They needed to last week, even with how good the starting pitching has been. There have been a few games that the Twins just did not score many runs, and so you go to a bullpen and you say you don't have room to give up 1 run, and they say, okay, fine, sure, we got it. That's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anybody catch your eye for the opposite reason? Any concerns? It's going to be kind of trickier to find somebody after such a phenomenal week, kind of team wide. Is there anybody who's still concerning you a little bit, or any sort of development that you think might be on the horizon here? Let's start with you, Gregg. Anybody?
Maybe somebody who people might be out on. Maybe somebody is out on Royce Lewis. Ooh. I don't know. It was great to see him get a couple of hits. One of them he earned, one of them maybe didn't earn, but you take it where you can get it. Sometimes you just need to, it's a baseball cliche, but sometimes you do just need to watch one fall in. I don't know. It's a little bit painful to watch Lewis right now. I don't like to speculate on things like people's health or anything like that, but it's worth, I guess, wondering if he was ready to come back in terms of like if he got enough rehab days down in St. Paul with all the cancellations. He just looks a little bit out of sorts, kind of slipping, or it almost looks like he's like on grease or something in the batter's box right now, where like one foot is always flying out, and I don't exactly know what mechanically or what that is. But it kind of looks like he's just a little jumpy or something. I don't know. He doesn't look very comfortable, and it might just be a comfort thing. He has not played an MLB game in 8 months going up to this. All of those different things. He might be a little bit ginger. Who knows? But yeah, you really want to see more from him than what he's done so far. I'm glad he got those 2 hits today. Maybe that'll help him. If for no other reason, then he has a little bit more confidence. Like he's got that monkey off his back. But yeah, definitely want to watch him closely over the next handful of games.
Yeah, why don't we jump on over to Theo here? Theo, were you covering any of the games that Rice was during his rehab stint when he was with the Saints? Or were they out of town? I'm trying to remember.
The first 2 games he had here, and then they went to Columbus where they had, 4 doubleheader games rained out, like 4 of their game 2s in the doubleheader just rained out. He didn't really do much. He was like 15 feet away from a grand slam in that second game. If the wind was blowing that day, he would have had it. And I think some of our tones might be different on like, oh, I'm out on Royce Lewis. No, he's fine. He's off to a slow start. We've just come to have such lofty expectations with what he's done in the previous seasons. And, at the end of last year, we finally saw he is human. I did want to share this funny quote he had with us yesterday post game, because, he got his first 2 hits today and he has not been doing fantastic, but that wasn't weighing on him, because here's what he said to us when we asked him about, the slow start of the plate. He's like, I feel like I'm making a difference regardless. I keep it humble, but we're 5-0 since Royce has been here. So I don't even have to do anything. So this is great. I can only imagine what it'll be like when I start turning the tides. So he's not really weighing on it too much because they're winning. And we had to laugh a little bit because he was trying to pull a Ricky Henderson kind of quote there.
He's earned it. He's earned it for sure.
So yeah, he got some things off the way, shuck off the rust. Got an RBI single up the middle, got another bloop one that was awarded to him just by some fielding errors. But that's something. And now you go into Baltimore this next week. You got more left-handed pitchers that you saw the previous week that are not doing well. So second time around, maybe he's going to go off in a hitter-friendly ballpark if they move the wall in where it should have been in the first place.
Well said. Well said. Cody, how about you? Anything that these guys didn't bring up? Any sort of concerns for anybody over the last week here?
Yeah, I don't think Jonah Bride has much more time on the Twins 26-man roster. This is probably, a little bit exaggerated, but it feels like every single time he makes contact, he pulls the ball to the third baseman or around that area. And, over a small sample, like his first couple games, it worked well. He was able to line some balls into left field, get on base, have some RBI. But, it's that approach doesn't work over the long haul, because eventually you will just ground out or pop out or line out. And I think, once Wallner comes back, I know Keishill's going to, take some more time, but if there is some, roster adjusting, I think Bride might be the next one to go. And Cody Clemens might have him beat out for right now for one of the last spots. Also with Willie Castro, I'm a bit concerned that he kind of might just be the player that he was the second half of last year, the guy who hovered closer to a 700 OPS instead of the all-star Willie Castro, which is fine. I mean, still a very serviceable player. He, can play short, can play third, can play right field, left field, probably not center field anymore, and that's fine. But I think, going forward, it'll be really nice to have Willie Castro the rest of this year, but I think he's definitely leaving Minnesota after this season, which is a conversation for much down the line. But I think Willie is, much closer to like 105 WRC plus guy than he was early last season.
Probably fair. Gregg, anything to add to that?
Yeah, if he is a 700 OPS guy, I think that's still a very valuable player. And I do think that even going into this season, I think that fans hoping that he was going to be like a 10% above of league average hitter, that probably was, I hate to rain on like Tom Froming's parade or anything like that. But I don't know. I think that was a little bit lofty. At the same time, though, if he is able to just be like somewhere around average, I think that that's still a quality player. Hopefully, they can have guys step up and be ready to play and, be a little bit more comfortable with having Willie, be your 10th man, because that's an awesome 10th man if you can be somewhere around league average, even if you're a little bit under and you can play a bunch of different positions and you can run. Awesome. Hopefully that's not like your everyday starting third baseman, though.
Why do you got to call our boy Tom Froming off like that? I don't know, man. It seems kind of wild and outlandish.
Because,
it's a little rude. He's helped us out on our podcast multiple times. He's a friend of the show, friend to all of us, a dear friend. I don't know, Gregg.
I feel like I can't speak poorly about Willie Castro without acknowledging Tom. Okay. Like it's almost like disrespectful to him to ignore him in this conversation.
Fair enough. All right. Well, before we move on here, why don't we talk about? We actually have a great guest to add to this. Minor leaguers who have caught our eye recently. Theo, do you want to start us off with anybody who has jumped off the page for you?
Well, Mickey Gasper has 6 home runs in 10 minor league games.
The GOAT.
Sorry, can I don't know if you're going anywhere after this, Theo, but I just want to interject really quick. I love that Mickey Gasper is doing this, if for no other reason than for old Gregg to see it, so that I can remember that just because some guy is tearing up AAA does not mean that he is going to be like a major league asset. The rational part of me needs to keep reminding myself that even though Carson McCusker is doing what he's doing right now, Mickey Gasper's also got 6 home runs in 5 games or whatever it is.
10,
It's a different world down there. It helps to keep ourselves honest.
I'm hearing is hashtag free Mickey. That's all I'm taking this.
I just wanted to point that out because it is something of note. I think we might finally start seeing Emmanuel Rodriguez heat up. He had his first couple of home runs in the last 2 games. The one he hit yesterday was the game winner for the Saints. They just had a small 2-1 victory there, and it was all thanks to his home run. So he didn't have as cold a start as some of the other guys like Junior Severino did last year with the Saints, but his left thumb specifically, not the one he had surgery on, his right thumb, that has aggravated him a couple times, kept him out of the lineup for about 5 to 6 games in those periods. So I think we're finally going to start seeing him be consistent as this weather warms up. I know that's cliche, but he is one of those guys who's probably going to benefit a lot more from better weather than some of the other guys on that Saints team, since he's not as used to it as the rest of them. So I think we are going to start seeing that. Iowa may not be much warmer in Des Moines, but who knows? It can vary a lot with weather, and they have 7 games down there because they have another doubleheader they got to make up for another rain out. So I think this might be the time, especially with it was very unfortunate to see on Tuesday night with Austin Martin re-aggravating that right hamstring and just going back on the shelf after 1 at-bat, 1 inning.
Yeah.
It's got awful for him. So I think this is an opportunity for Rodriguez to shine, and especially since he's the youngest guy in that Saints lineup. I mean, all eyes are kind of on him to be that young stud of a prospect right now before anyone else gets up there that are just tearing up, Wichita or Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, I know that Emmanuel Rodriguez hurt his thumb. Last year, one of them was sliding into a base and messing it up. I'm not sure how he hurt his other thumb, but I'm choosing to believe that this is there's some mafia involvement here, that he owes some money to somebody at Morelli's or something, and they sent somebody after him and took his thumbs, But glad to see that he's on their good side again, it seems like, because he's back and he's performing. And I would love to see an Emmanuel Rodriguez debut at Target Field sometime this season. And it sounds like that's, I'll say
possible.
It's possible, maybe even leaning likely at some point, just for how long the season is and how close he is to being an MLB product. I'll say that it's between even and likely there. So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
I will say this for the time being to tie it back to Cody's evaluation on Jonah Bride. I think they are going to run with everyone they have right now with Jorge Alcala. This time last year, he's getting an option down to AAA, but because he's accumulated enough service time, he has the choice to not take that option if that does happen. So I think with who they have, and Waldner's like the only one who's going to be the closest to returning between him and Keishel with the guys on the IL on the offense. I think they're just going to roll with who they have for the next few weeks here and then not make a move until they need to.
Yeah, might be worth watching. Okay, I think we should probably put that one to bed here, guys, and let's boogie on down. We haven't done this in a while. We are going to play.
Wait.
Whoa,
I want to give a shout out. I have a minor leaguer I want to give a shout out to.
All right, let's hear it.
I want to give a shout out to, as Cody might say, the first baseman of the future. We've got a guy here with an average over 300 and a slugging or a OPS over 900, taking his walks. Got a pretty reasonable strikeout to walk ratio. I want to give a big old shout out to AA first baseman Aaron Sabato. He's 26 years old, a year older than the average age in AA. But Aaron Sabato is having a pretty nice year. And as somebody who loves to watch a big dude just mash the heck out of a baseball, you know what? Maybe Aaron Sabato, maybe they're going to be rewarded for not giving up on him. They gave up last year on their first round pick from the year before, Keone Cavaco, but they have not yet given up on somebody who's kind of mentioned in the same breath a lot of times when we talk about Twins draft picks. Is this the year we see Aaron Sabato finally break out? Is he going to have his Jorge Alcala year? This might be the year for the 7th straight year.
Gregg, why are you talking about 2029 roster plans, Gregg?
yeah, come on. Oh man. Okay. Well,
2029. Poor Aaron Sabato is going to be 30.
Yeah. Wow. And you know what? We still have some time before they actually ever decide to cut bait on Aaron Sabato, because at first they have to try him on the mound. That's the rule. You have to see what he can do as a pitcher. So, okay. How about now, guys? Let's boogie on down. We'll do some picks to click. So it's been a few episodes since we did our picks to click here. The category for the last time we did this was pitcher strikeouts between then and the next episode. Turns out there's been multiple episodes since then, but I had Simeon Woods Richardson, Gregg had Chris Paddock, and Cody had Joe Ryan, who had the most strikeouts between this point and our last episode that we played picks to click. However, Gregg, of course, has a gripe. Gregg, you want to bring it up here?
Yeah, so I picked Chris Paddock under the assumption that we were going to be playing clicks to click until the next episode, which would have been Easter, which was 3 days later. And after 3 days, 3 games, Chris Paddock had 6 strikeouts, Joe Ryan had 5, and Sim had 3. And so I would like to petition the court for an injunction or something. I don't know. I don't watch legal shows very often. But I would like for us to amend Cody's win to a loss and a Gregg win. All
I
in
agree.
favor, say aye.
I agree.
I agree too. I'm yearning for a win. I'm begging for a win, but I think Gregg does get this one simply because I want it for the love of the game, and the game is losing and getting stuff wrong.
That's good. Thank you for being a gracious loser, Cody. Let's be honest. Gregg only picked Chris Paddock because he really desperately needed a reason to play the Chris Paddock music at when we did the picks to click. But you know what? It paid off, and he got himself a win. So I believe, Gregg, that puts you up 2-0 over the rest of the board so far on picks to click for this season. So we got some work to do here with our next category. And our next category between now and the next time we play this, I'll put that signifier in there. I'm thinking we'll probably play this in next week's episode for next Monday's off day, but you never know. The category is going to be
next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay, so there's what, like 9-10 games between now and the next episode, we're going to say. We want to know who is going to get the most starts at second base. it could be an interesting. Or is that the category that we went with, guys? I think that's
Yes.
what we were rolling with. Okay, most starts at second base. So there's a few options that we could go with here. Could be some shuffling going on. Who knows? Since there's 4 of us, there might be an oddball pick. Theo, since you are the guest today, who do you think is going to have the most starts at second base between now and the next time we play?
I would say Brooks Lee.
Smart. I think he's probably the betting favorite.
We've seen Willie Castro play a few more games in right than second base, so that's why I'm going with Brooks.
Okay. All right. Greg, what do you think?
You know what? Cody Clemens. I'm going to say Cody Clemens.
All right. Okay.
He's started like 50% of the games in the last week at second base. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Cody Clemens is an almost everyday player right now.
Yeah, that's pretty wild to think about. Feels like just yesterday we were watching old Raj a lot about his boy at Fenway. Cody, who do you want to take? I think there's only one real option that you can take at this point, and leave me with nothing. But what do you got for us?
I was gonna say my name partner Cody, but I guess I would go
Comrade
with
Cody's.
I don't know if he's the comrade. But I would go with Willie Castro.
That's right, because he takes a salary. If he was a comrade, he would be giving that up. He'd
I take a salary too.
And bread.
Okay.
Rations. All right. Well, so you took Willie Castro, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's probably the smart bet there. That doesn't leave me with much. Those are definitely the 3 betting favorites. I think I'll go. Try to hold me back. Hashtag free Mickey. I'm going Mickey Gasper. Something would have to go terribly wrong for Mickey Gasper to get the most starts at second base, but whatever. We're going to go with it. All right. There's our picks to click.
Why won't Royce Lewis play second base?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think there's a much better chance of Mickey Gasper coming up again the most starts.
I think Brooks Lee might play some center field, so maybe.
I don't understand. Why wouldn't Royce Lewis play second base? It's not like he would refuse to do so, would he?
No, doesn't sound like
just like Louis Varland would never refuse to relieve.
Would never. Absolutely would never. Okay, well, that was a good round, guys. We'll see how this all plays out, whether it's next week or sometime in August. But for right now, let's party on down, and we'll do an edition of The Closer. Okay, so today's edition of The Closer with 4 of us here, we're going to do some Stump the Shown. Cody, do you want to do the honors and tell us how Stump the Shown is played?
Yeah, so Stump the Shown is a game in honor of Stump the Schwab, R.I.P. Howie Schwab. He died roughly a year ago. We all love and miss him. But pretty much there is a category, and Lou has the category in mind.
I have the category in
mind. Sorry, my bad. Gregg has the category in mind. Lou had it last time.
Yep.
Pretty much we have 3 strikes, and we have to pick players or whatever to fit into the category. And then once we get 3 strikes, we are out, and we are no longer able to play. And the goal is to stump the shown, which is me. I am the shown man.
So today, Theo and I are going to try to stump the shown with a category that Gregg has found for us. Gregg, what's our category for today?
Our category is, and this absolutely, I chose this category before you sent us the picks to click. This is players who have played second base for the Minnesota Twins since the year 2020.
2020. Goodness.
Minimum of 5 games. Minimum of 5 appearances.
Okay.
Oh, that could be harder.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 14 players who have had at least 5 appearances at second base. There are an additional 7 who have played second base, and so we will give them a shout out if you guys do guess them instead. I'm thinking 3 strikes for this each. I do have options though. So right now, as you can see on the board, I have just them in order from 1 to 14, most to fewest games. I have a second page that I can show you that has their actual games played next to it. And I also have a third page that has the years that they played in case we need hints.
Oh boy. I'll trust your judgment on it, Gregg.
Let's start with no hints. Top 14. There are 21 total. Top 14. Let's start with Theo. What do we got here?
Jermaine Palacios.
Jermaine Palacios is number 11.
Wow.
Not a real person.
Lou.
Well, it's a good thing.
Sorry,
I
I'm
not
pulling
you.
up how many it was. Sorry. So Lou, you can go next, but Jermaine Palacios has 12 appearances at second base.
Wow.
That
All right.
2022 season was something else, man.
Okay. I'm going to go with Jorge Polanco.
Jorge Polanco, that's number 1. Cody.
Edouard Julien.
Edouard Julien, that's actually number 2. Theo.
Arise.
Arise is number 3. There we go. Number 4. Or not number 4, but Lou.
Let's see. I'm going to go with Kyle Farmer.
Kyle Farmer is number 4. Okay, we're going in order. Cody, do you have number 5?
Probably not. Jonathan Scope.
Jonathan
Ooh.
Scott.
Oh my god.
Mm.
2019.
no.
That's
Oh,
horrible.
no. 0 games for Jonathan Scope. I'm so sorry, Cody. That's one strike.
2019. Yeah. Dang.
Who's up?
Theo.
I might pronounce his first name wrong, but Emilio Vargas.
Ildemaro Vargas
Yes, him.
is number 12.
Oh,
with
good
8
pull.
appearances in 2020. Lou.
Good pull. I will go with Willie Castro.
Willie Castro is number 5. Cody.
Cody Clemens.
Cody Clemens is, as of 2 days ago, number 13.
Oh,
He has 6
wow.
appearances at second base. There we go.
Wait, these are appearances or starts?
Appearances.
Okay. Good. All right.
Theo.
Hmm.
5.
Well, Brooks Lee.
Brooks Lee is number 9.
It's a good pull.
He's got 18 good pull. Lou, who we got?
Let's go with future Twins general manager Ere Adrianza.
Adrianza barely made the cut. He had 5 games at
Wow.
second base
Yes.
in
Nice.
2020. There we go. Cody, who we got?
Donovan Solano.
Donovan Solano, 28 games, number 7. Still got 6, 8, and 10. Theo, all you.
Nick Gordon.
Nick Gordon. There.
Oh,
That was number 6 with
good pull.
64 games at second base. Still got 8 and 10. Lou.
8 and 10. Did he have enough there? Mickey Gasper?
Mickey Gasper, no. Mickey Gasper only has 2 games at second base. So that's a strike for Lou.
Strike for all Lou.
But however, if we're talking about the extras, we'll count that for you, Lou. That's not a strike if we get to extra innings.
All right, okay.
Cody, what do we got?
Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis only has 2 games at second base. That's a second strike for Cody. Theo.
This is where it gets tricky.
You've got 5 seconds, buddy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pass.
Lou, what do we got?
I don't know if he was still here at this point. Marwin Gonzalez.
Marwin Gonzalez actually played 21 games at second base in 2020.
Yes.
That was not great.
That was a good one.
Cody, who we got for the number 10 spot?
Gregg, you're gonna love this answer, and I'm gonna be wrong, but you're gonna appreciate that I said this man's name. Travis Blankenhorn.
Travis Blankenhorn had 2 appearances, one in 2020 and one in 2021. And I'm sure that we can all remember the one that was in 2021. But that's 3 strikes for Cody.
That's 3? Okay.
Theo, you've got 1 strike, and Lou's got 1 strike.
I believe that is correct.
If we're going into extras, they only have 1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it quite possible, and I'm going to take this one from Lou, that Williams Astudillo played more games against than Jermaine
just barely made the cut? Missed the cut. He had 4 appearances at second base in 2021, but he did not get that magic 5th. As I was going through, I went through from 2025 on back, and I was really hoping that there was going to be 1 appearance for Astudillo in 2020, but no, just the 4 in 2021. So we're sitting here. Theo has a strike. Lou has a strike. Can either of you tell me who that number 10 is?
I only have one other name on here, and I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but I'm going to say Nico Goodrum.
Nico Goodrum did not play any second base in his second stint with the Twins. That's a for Lou.
I only have 1 strike.
Theo, do we have a name? I can.
Oh yes,
this
yes. I got the name.
Okay, what's the name?
Tim Beckham.
No second base for Tim Beckham, guys.
How about this? Do we want to?
So I'm back in it. I only have 1 strike.
Is that the case? Is that true? I don't think that's how it works. What about this? What about this? Gregg, could you give us a hint, and we'll try to call in first to say it gets it.
Yeah, can we do that? I'm back.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to give you a hint really quick, and it's right here on the page. All 14 of these games were in 2024. Go.
We're forgetting someone from last season. That's very telling.
Oh, Austin Martin?
It is Austin Martin.
Yeah. Let's go. Stump the shown.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Womp womp.
Yeah, who are some of the other names on this list here?
Who can we guess?
Okay, so here we've got 3 names left.
Okay.
These are the extra inning questions. I will be stunned if you can get all 3 of them. So we've got 2 that happened in 2023, 1 that happened in 2022, and 2 for somebody in 2025.
It's on
so
the
I'm
tip
guessing
of
the
my tongue.
2025 one is Cody Clemens.
It's Keishel.
No,
Keishel.
Keishel.
Yep.
Yes.
Keishel. Okay. For some reason,
somebody played twice in 2023, and 1 person played once in 2022, and you are going to love when you hear who played in 2022.
Is it Jose Miranda?
It is not Jose Miranda.
Ooh.
Jose Miranda never played second base in the majors.
Okay.
Christian Vasquez?
Yes, Christian
Vasquez.
Vasquez
Has played 2.
So I was going
then-
to say it's an all-time Gregg bit, the following Christian Vasquez's infield exploits and begging for them.
The 122.
There's a player who played 1 game in 2022 at second base.
Was it Gio Urshela?
It was not Gio Urshela.
Was it the
This
other
player-
man who was in that trade?
No, he was not traded for. This man shared a surname with somebody else on the 2022 team. This man is primarily known as an outfielder.
Oh, I know this.
The man he shared a name with actually was a pretty prolific pinch runner for the Twins.
Hamilton.
Which one?
Damn.
Caleb.
No, Caleb was the prolific pinch runner that year. He ran pinch runs so many times.
Did Billy Hamilton play second for the 2020?
Billy Hamilton played second 1 time in 2022.
Way.
Yes,
No.
Billy Hamilton. He is one of the guys that I constantly go back to when I make my most ridiculous lineups in Twins history. Billy Hamilton
For good
played
reason.
2
2 innings at second base in September of 2022. I
Yeah.
believe that he has a little bit of infield experience in the minor leagues, and they needed him for some reason someday.
Wow.
Oh man,
That is a good pull. That is a good pull. I really thought for a second, I was like, oh, if Gregg thought about this or brought up this list, did Miguel Sano somehow find his birthday boy? By the way, it is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Miguel Sano, 32 years old, you spry chicken. Yeah, I thought he was going to make this list. That would have been fun to watch, but was not meant to be. Okay.
So you guys did get stumped, though. You did not figure out Austin Martin. That's tough. Nobody wins.
Yeah.
Old Gregg wins. I'm kind of surprised that Martin kind of fell through the cracks on that, but good work.
Interesting.
That was fun.
Yeah. Good round. All right, well, let's boogie on down. Let's talk about our walk-off question, which was, which fictional mother would you want on your baseball club? I'm going to start out here. I'll go with probably the best fictional women's baseball player to ever lay stake or have an at-bat in the game. I'm going to go with Marla Hooch from A League of Their Own. She did not have a child when she was a player in those scenes, but later on in the movie, she had a kid. So I think she was mother, best female baseball player to ever play the game, Marla Hooch. Who else you guys got? Gregg, let's go with you.
Yeah, I would like Gloria from Modern Family on my baseball team.
Ooh, okay. Do you think she'd be really good?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I would love to have her around.
Okay. All right. Theo, who do you got for a fictional TV mother?
Yeah, I will go with the show that is going to be airing its final 3 episodes this Tuesday. One I cannot stop talking about. I'm going to go with Marva Andor from Star Wars' Andor, because if you haven't seen the show, just watch it. It's fantastic. Marva is a true fighter, doesn't stop giving up on the cause until it's too late, and really is an inspirational mother who gives good speeches about love and everything, and just keeping the fight going. I think she'll be fantastic to have there.
They playing a lot of baseball out there in a galaxy far, far away.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Swinging lightsabers.
Swinging them lightsabers. Yeah. Cody, who do you got?
Elastigirl. She would OP'd. From the what's the movie called again?
The Incredibles.
The Incredibles. Yep.
Can you imagine her range in the outfield?
Yeah, she would have an outs above average at 100. Incredible athlete. Elastigirl.
That's a good answer. I like that a lot. Very fun. Okay, well, listeners, let us know who we missed, who you think would be a great fictional mom to be a ball player. You could either comment on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on any of our posts here. Let us know who we missed. Coming up here, we have, a 9-game stretch where the Twins go and play Baltimore, Milwaukee, and who's after that?
They're back home for Cleveland and Kansas City.
Cleveland and Kansas City. Okay. Well, that sounds like a pretty difficult stretch. Anything stand out in that schedule for any of you guys that you're most looking forward to?
I mean, I would love for them to actually beat Cleveland, have a good full series against Cleveland. I don't want to look too far ahead to that, but there's legitimate reason to want to actually make up some ground on them. I don't know how far behind they are in the standings right now, but I don't know. They need to win some AL Central games soon.
They're 5 games back of Detroit, and then 2.5 KC, and maybe 2.5 of Cleveland, who's still they're down 3-0 in the bottom 9th.
Okay, well, Cody, how about you? Anybody else that you're looking forward to here?
I'm selfishly excited to go to the Milwaukee games.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah, for all 3, I think I'm going to go.
Okay, everybody, if you go to any of these games or go to the one that Cody is going to, please try to find him in the stadium. Get a picture, tag us, let us know that you have found the shown.
Yep, I will be in the Molitor lot, before the game. I will walk over to the stadium. I will tell you my C-section. I will dox myself for this
Good.
podcast.
That's all we're asking for.
Tell a really quick story I told on Twitter, but I need to tell it on the podcast too.
Go for it.
Okay, so I was in Boston. Number one, I'm kind of disappointed in you all in last week's show saying that you wished me a negative experience in an airplane lavatory. You guys don't know me at all. I've never, ever in my life been in an airport bathroom. I've taken 10-hour flights and I refuse to go in there, even if I have to go for like the last 4 hours. I will not admit defeat and go back into one of those bathrooms. So you guys don't know me at all. But I was in Boston last weekend, and Friday night's games end. We're walking out to, find somewhere quiet to call an Uber from that's like not super crowded and super expensive. And we're walking down, and there's this guy. He's walking the other way, crosses, and he goes, "Do you own a Ruben Sierra jersey?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I remember you." I was like, "What?" And so it turned out that me and my baseball friend, my one baseball friend in real life, Des Tobin from DesSays.net for all the OG baseball bloggers out there, we were in Oakland last year. We met this couple on the light rail who really loved my Ruben Sierra jersey. And like we talked about how I love obscure jerseys as one does. Anyway, we go our separate ways at the end of this train ride. I see them. I meet them again in Boston. These two people and their friends show up. And he is actually wearing a Ruben Sierra jersey that was inspired by my knockoff bootleg Ruben Sierra jersey. I was wearing a David Ortiz Twins jersey. He asked me for a picture. He goes, "I was actually telling my friends about you this morning." And these friends next to him were like, "Wait, that's the guy?" It was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. My buddy Des was also like, "Oh no, I remember those guys. Like I remember that conversation."
Nice.
It was a wild experience. So now I'm nervous about next time I go see the Twins on the road. I'm going to run into these people again in some other bootleg jersey, and we're just going to keep meeting each other. But it was a very cool experience, a very strange experience. I wanted to share on the podcast. I tweeted about it, but I feel like that's one of those things you have to actually tell the story.
I feel like you need to see those people next year in like Arizona or someplace random wearing like a Trevor Richards Twins jersey or another different just random Twins.
This does not help my like lifelong fear that I'm living in the Truman Show. I can't lie. I cannot lie when something like that happens. It makes me a little bit nervous.
Guys, he's on to us. He is on to us. I repeat. Okay. You know what? I think that's probably a good place to close out here. Want to say thank you to Theo for joining us on the Twins Off Daily Pod. Please go listen to Destination the Show. Please follow his work, the excellent stuff that he's doing covering both the Twins and the Saints for zonecoverage.com. Gregg, Cody, anything you guys want to plug before we take off here? Forgot about everybody's favorite segment. You got a quick gripe?
Slimy son of a gun. I can't believe you tried to pull that. Really quick gripe. Like I said, I was in Boston. Actually, no, I've got a double gripe. Number one, why do we as Americans care about the Kentucky Derby? Like, why is it something nobody cares about horse racing? Like, watch a real sport. Like, I don't understand our fascination with the Kentucky Derby. Horse racing is like for, let's see, we're 54 minutes into this. Okay, I can say it. It's for rich cokeheads, right? With gambling addictions, right? Why does the rest of the U.S. care about the Kentucky Derby? It was actually kind of cool. We watched it at Fenway because the rain delay that happened on Saturday coincided with the Kentucky Derby. So they just turned the Kentucky Derby on and we watched it in the stadium. And that was pretty cool. But I don't understand why we care about the Kentucky Derby in the year of our Lord 2025. Second gripe.
All right.
I love Sweet Caroline.
Here we go.
I love it. I think it's a very good song. However, there is no so good in the song. There is a ba 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 in the song. And so when you sing that, that's normal. I get really mad when people say so good, so good, so good. I don't care if it's a Fenway tradition. It's not in the song and you shouldn't sing it. And it's like permeated the rest of the culture by this point. Like everybody says that anytime people are singing Sweet Caroline. I hate it. It doesn't belong in it. We've ruined a good thing. It makes me mad to hear a good song because people singing along ruin it, which is another gripe of mine, I guess.
I am with you. I think that is a vastly overrated baseball tradition that MLB has, or that the Red Sox have for Sweet Caroline. What is it, the 8th inning, right? They do it every game?
Yes.
I'm very sick of it. I'm very sick of it, and I'm sure I would absolutely love it if I was a Red Sox fan and grew up
fun.
doing it.
Like, I can't lie.
But I don't know. All right, well, that's pretty good. All right, so
Cody, you don't have any gripes, do you?
No. I mean, if you want to join in on my gripe, because I feel like this is a collective gripe. Otherwise, I don't want to be the only one on an island, sharing this. I mean, we are 55 minutes in, so we could just call it.
I think what Cody is saying is he wants to save this for a mega gripe session for an upcoming episode where he can really unleash.
I really wanted. What I wanted to do is have Cody complain and then us not come to his defense. Just even not to try start playing the closing music.
This is what I feared. This is why I'm not going to ambush myself.
That's good. All right, well, we're going to save that for a mega session. But everybody, thank you so much for joining for us this episode. Please share it with a friend. Please let us know what else you'd like to hear from us. We've been loving doing this show. We're already on episode, 42 now? We want to keep going, and we'd love for you to keep joining on this ride. But on behalf of my friends here, Cody and Gregg and Theo, thank you very much for listening, and stay sweet, everybody.